What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, what's happening, buddy?
Actually, I'm thinking about going back to a game that's about to leave Game Pass, actually, Hades. Did you ever get a chance to play Hades?
No, I looked at it the other day too. I was on Game Pass, so every now and then I'm like, what's something light maybe I can kind of get into. Hades is not a light game, I'll tell you. That is
not exactly.
No, I'm looking for something just okay. You know what? I got like 5-10 minutes to chill. What am I gonna play? What's on Game Pass? I'll head over there, take a look, and you know what I downloaded? Are you ready? Slay the Spire.
Hey, there we go. There's not exactly a slow game or a quick game, but
yeah, you can get in there, do a round though, right? You play around and then you bounce out. So if I'm waiting for you guys to jump on for some Siege or something like that, I'll jump in there if I'm not playing Assassin's Creed. So yeah, it was just one of those things. I'm like, so many people talked about this game and I want to know more about it. So I jumped in. I had a decent time. It's pretty cool. I can definitely see where it's heading. I'm maybe at this point though, I'm probably about an hour in at least. Maybe an hour and a half.
Oh, so enough to get familiarized, yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm having a good time. But yeah, as far as Hades goes, I have not played it. I keep looking at it. When's it leaving? Do you know?
I think it's the end of August now.
Oh, man. All right. Maybe that's the next one then. I'll have to jump in and take a look. Because I hear the game is absolutely incredible. It's like a lot of people rave about it, right?
It's really cool. It beat me down about a third of the way through. I can't pass it.
Oh, really? Oh, that sucks. But you know what, Scott? We'll beat everybody down if they don't join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/the official ITG. No, we won't. Or you can join us live over on YouTube at ITG. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Coming up on today's show, Death Stranding could be coming to one of the best gaming services. Activision Blizzard will be merging your Overwatch accounts soon, and Hasbro. That's right. I said it right. Hasbro has a big budget game in development. We'll talk about that one too. That's an interesting one, dude. Good old Hasbro. Huh. Quick PSA though, Scott, before we get started. Warzone 2 is going to be released on November 16th. Are you excited?
Yeah, there's a whole lot of, I think it was, originally there was some sort of a leak. And then it got spread across the internet. I'm not sure the exact origin of this one, but it's said to be about 2 weeks after the release of Modern Warfare 2. So if you've been waiting, if you've been like me on the outside waiting to get into a new Battle Royale, well, then you might have some good fortune halfway through November.
Will they change it up that much? Do you think Warzone 2 is going to be a big difference from Warzone 1? It's interesting to see that Fortnite still hasn't seen a Fortnite 2. It's still just Fortnite, right? Like they haven't changed it all.
Well, they have the no build mode in Fortnite.
That's true.
That's got to be the biggest change.
Yeah, but it's still just they haven't upped it, right? Like, you know what I mean? They haven't gone from Fortnite 1 to a Fortnite 2. They just keep changing the landscape and the model. Are you surprised at all that Activision hasn't done that with Warzone?
Well, they've done a similar thing, but long enough, and I feel like they've changed the map up enough that it kind of gives them an idea of what they want to make different. I'm hoping it's drastically different, but it's hard for me to really picture what that means. You think you're going to have no vehicles, but then the map's supposed to be much larger, so how's that going to work?
Yeah. Right? How much larger is it going to be, do you know? Have you seen it?
I'm not certain, no. I think it was rumored to be about 1.5 the size, but I don't have anything to verify that.
I'm calling in our resident Corey Askew here, ladies and gentlemen. See if we can get him on the phone. He's probably at work right now, but we're going to call him anyways. Let's see if we can get him here. Will he answer is the biggest question. He's pretty dedicated, this guy, so he might not. We're going to try. Come on, pick up your phone, Corey. I don't think he is. We're gonna leave him a voicemail here in a second. Scott, you ready? Come on, pick up. Come on, everybody, tweet at Corey Askew. Should have picked up your phone. You can follow him on Twitter at Corey2504 on Twitter. He's not even gonna have an answer machine. There it is.
You have reached mailbox number 7.
Well, maybe not. We're not going to do that right now. Hang on 1 second. Why doesn't he just do his actual name, Corey? Come on. That is awful. You deserve to get pinged now.
More options.
Corey, this is Drew. You missed a highly informative question this morning on ITG Daily. If you have time, please do call us back. You know where to reach me. Talk to you soon, buddy. Later. Welcome to the show, everybody. Let's move on to what's happening in the world of Death Stranding. You ready? Death Stranding might be coming to PC Game Pass. That's right. Can you believe it, Scott? Game Pass.
That's a big deal. I'm actually really looking forward to this, if this does pan out to be real.
Right? This could be massive, honestly. This comes from Austin Nelson over at Xbox Era. Death Stranding, previously released on PlayStation and PC. It did finally make its way to PC. Might be coming to Game Pass as well for PC, which is a huge step in the world of Xbox, getting more in the realm of Kojima's, I'm gonna say, platform at this point, right? He's got his own little niche area kind of the gaming industry. So the rumor started when the PC Game Pass Twitter account tweeted out that they had changed their profile picture. Many instantly recognized the picture as being similar to the landscape seen in Death Stranding. One user on Twitter by the name of Navinome found the location used in the profile picture in the game, all but confirming that the Twitter account is indeed teasing Death Stranding's arrival on PC Game Pass. Scott, that's a big move, man.
Yeah, no, if that actually happens, it's a big, major acquisition. Maybe not acquisition is the right word, but for Xbox in general, because Death Stranding has been just this weird enigma on the other side of the fence.
Dude, yeah, Kyle joins us over on Twitch and says, "Oh my God, I can't wait for this game. I've heard so many different views on it. It is a vast landscape of opinions when it comes to Death Stranding. I myself played several hours, played it for review for the show. Did not finish it, I'll be completely honest, because it is so twisted and weird and just convoluted. But it is a Kojima story, so it's
you have to accept a little bit of that.
We do, but at the same time, we tease often. Even Norman Reedus doesn't know what's going on in this game, so it's one of the right, it's one of those things. It's a weird aspect to get into this game and try to figure out exactly what is going on. A lot of people call it just a delivery service of a game. It's just, man, it's so weird. It is such a weird game.
Uber Eats delivery simulator. That was the best joke I've ever seen. Somebody photoshopped a McDonald's into the landscape.
Oh wow! But dude, there's a whale in the background. Yeah, But then again, Metal Gear Solid 5 has a flaming whale as well. Still, to this, man, I tell you,
I'm so curious to check out Death Stranding because I know it is considered very strange for fans of Kojima's work. Dude. So I'm thinking I'm doing the math, going, how crazy could it be?
It is absolutely absurd. It is one of the craziest games I think I've ever experienced. It just didn't click. And for a lot of people,
do you have to listen to the BB unit cry all the time? Is it like
not
Yoshi's
all the time
Island that way?
But it does, right? It does kind of chime in every now and then. But a lot of people liked it because they could zone out and just kind of walk. But then you're balancing this lift, and the cool aspect of it is that people there were in front of you, maybe built a ladder or a bridge or something that changed the landscape that you're now traversing. So it has this interconnected social media aspect to it, which is really, really cool to see in a game that carries stuff forward. But dude, the game is just so messed up. It's definitely not for me, which makes me now concerned to see what happens next with Kojima, because I think as he moves on to other aspirations and kind of goals and achievements that he wants to accomplish in his scope of game development and film and this, that, and the other, I think he's just going to deteriorate more from what I wanted from Metal Gear and just get into some bizarro flipping things that just aren't going to connect with me, right? And just as a big Metal Gear fan and Kojima fan, it's just really disappointing to see that transition into, I think, what is a future landscape that I will not be a part of. It's kind of
it's unfortunate, but then again, it has been a good 20 years of being on track.
Well, what's wrong with another 20, Scott? Come on, man. I got lots of life left ahead of me here.
And unfortunately, a lot of it's going to be without Metal Gear.
No, yeah. Again, well, that's just a whole, that's a show for another time. But dude, let's move on to what's happening over in the world of Overwatch. Overwatch account merging goes live to prep for Overwatch 2 cross progression. Comes from Michael over at Polygon. When Overwatch 2 launches in October, Blizzard's hero shooter will include crossplay and cross progression across all of its platforms. Starting Tuesday, current Overwatch players can merge their accounts across Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Windows PC, and Xbox, bringing their cosmetics, credits, and gameplay statistics together in a unified account. Scott, dude, is this the future of gaming?
I like this. I like this change.
Yeah, me too.
Because as we move forward, everything, you're not losing any progression. And that's really important in a game like Overwatch, where it's all rolling loot boxes, essentially. So this is, you don't want to just reset at square one.
No, absolutely. It's nice to see this carry forward. Dude, we even saw this a little bit. Well, no, we did see it with MLB The Show. Now that it's on Xbox, I can carry all my progression over to the PlayStation account as well, and even Nintendo, which is...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And still a bit of a mystery on that one, but the Nintendo version. But
didn't try.
Some people really like to play it in their car on lunch. And
there's one way to
there
play
for
it
somebody
on the go, right? So in an extensive FAQ, Blizzard breaks down what requires to merge multiple Overwatch accounts. You'll need a battle.net account, of course, required for crossplay in Overwatch since 2021. And how things like in-game credits, Overwatch League tokens, achievements, and competitive and skill ratings will be handled. In short, for most things, they'll all add up, or you'll get the highest number associated with a particular statistic. There are a few catches, though. Players can only merge one account per platform, meaning that if you have multiple accounts on PC or multiple on one console, you have to choose which one to merge with your unified battle.net account, Scott. So no cheating the system kind of thing. We'll see. Everybody cheats somehow. It's so irritating. Yo, dude, I gotta talk about it last night. We jumped into Siege.
I knew that was happening.
I just remembered. It was one of the most bizarre games of Siege we have ever played. So we load in
by far,
dude. It was insane. We load in, and the other team starts just killing each other, which is unfortunate. I hate it when they do that.
Unfortunately, far too common.
Yeah, but here's what happens after that. We get a party invite from the other team, something we often do see actually, but we never kind of engage with. I engaged last night. These two people who were left, actually, who were shot and killed by the other team, wanted to work with us to get back at their team. So we proceeded from that point forth to then work together. So here we are on opposite teams in a party chat and just completely wrecked the other team together. Dude, it was one of the most funny and bizarre things I think I've ever experienced in video games. It is one of those things, don't mess with your teams, just play fair. And if you do, well, sometimes they'll just get back at you. And I thought it was great, dude. I absolutely thought it was great.
It turned what could have been a drag into a good couple laughs at least.
Man, we got a couple chuckles out of it, that's for sure. But yeah, it was definitely funny. Let's move into the world of Hasbro, because here we go. Hasbro has a big budget G.I. Joe Snake Eyes game in the works. The unnamed game is part of Hasbro's ambitious in-house game dev plans. This comes from Haley over at GameSpot. After making its name in toys and board games, Hasbro is the latest big company trying to break into the video game industry, with 6 video game studios now under its belt. Scott, didn't know that one was coming, did you?
No, wow, that's actually a pretty strong first step.
It is, isn't it? It's nice to see. Maybe Stadia could have done that. The company is making games based on its impressive stable of franchises, which reportedly includes a big budget game centered around the G.I. Joe character Snake Eyes. Yo, dude, I'm excited to see this. Like, we were talking quickly last night about this because we saw this pop up. Did you check out any of the Snake Eyes movies?
No, no, I'm really not very familiar with GI Joe. I watched the first movie that came out must have been mid 2000s. I do
Yeah.
remember seeing one of those.
I can't remember if I saw I think I saw the most recent one. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute, but it's been cool. Kyle, our good friend Kyle, always friend of the show, is he says he checked them all out and he liked them too. So the new games come as part of Axio's report into Hasbro's video game projects, which also include projects under subsidiary Wizards of the Coast, one of the company's games, Atomic Arcade, which is based in Raleigh, North Carolina, and led by former Warner Brothers devs Ames Christian, is developing a big budget action adventure game starring the G.I. Joe universe's Snake Eyes. Dude, I'm cool with this. I'm excited to see where it goes and see what happens from there. They've had a couple other things in the works as well. Looks like they did the Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, and that one didn't fare too well. I remember a lot of people getting pretty upset about that one.
How long has G.I. Joe been around? Because I think this would be almost the first video game edition. It's certainly in a very long time.
Hello, Google. G.I. Joe.
I'm gonna hazard a guess it is before my time, but I'm not certain if that.
Oh man, I remember having the toys when I was a kid. So, 1980s looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been around for a while. It's definitely been here for a while, so it's cool to see that they're moving over there. We'll see what happens with when this game actually is announced, revealed, and what we actually get into. I think is the biggest thing. Questions for me is like, what story did they follow? Do they follow the movies, or do they make their own kind of thing? I think they're better off at this point to make their own kind of idea of what the game looks like for Snake Eyes and go from there.
Well, it's been such a long-standing franchise that I think there's going to be something to pull. I'm just not sure if it'll translate into 40 years later. Yeah, translate very well, but we'll see.
We will see what happens. Scott, let's move back into the world of the multiverses. Is once again leaked more fighters. Beetlejuice and the Wicked Witch are on the way.
Oh, I really don't like Beetlejuice, but I've realized that's only because the actor that plays Beetlejuice did it.
Beetlejuice. It's just, I was never a fan of Beetlejuice growing up. I saw the movie and I hated it. It actually kind of freaked me out back then. I
think that's just because it was effective.
Yeah, well, it was very effective. I did not like it, man. And then the Wicked Witch, I don't like the Wizard of Oz.
No, I barely remember the Wizard of Oz. It's been somehow lost to time in my head. But I do remember Beetlejuice. I watched that kind of recently.
Well, we talked about it yesterday that we're getting Black Adam. And who's the other character we were getting? Stride? Is that who we were getting?
Stripe,
sorry, that's it. So we got two new characters then that way, which I'm okay with. I'm looking forward to those two, checking them out. But I don't really. We'll see if Beetlejuice and Wicked Witch is any good. You never know. I played for an hour yesterday with my kid. He's like, "Dad, you want to play?" I'm like, "Sure." After about a half hour through, I'm like, "Okay, I've had enough." I get it.
Were you just getting smacked down repeatedly though?
No, we didn't lose. I think we lost one game. That was it.
Oh, okay. Co-op then. That's a good idea.
It was co-op. Yeah, him and I were playing. Some games he had all 4 KOs. I'm like, dude, you stole that one and you stole that one. It's funny how quick that moves. I found myself a lot with the Smash Brothers games. I lose where my character is. All of a sudden, phew,
that does happen fairly easy in this one.
Absolutely. Dude, let's move over to the world of Microsoft confirms what we always suspected about the PS4. Comes from Rise Wood over at Tech Radar. Microsoft has finally revealed the enormous sales gap between Xbox One and PS4 consoles. We knew it was a thing, Scott. We just didn't know how bad it was. Well, get ready. While you may have an inkling that the PS4 outsold the Xbox One, Microsoft had always kept quiet on its console sales figures. Absolutely. Now, though, the company has finally revealed the disparity in it isn't pretty. Microsoft admits that the PS4 outsold the Xbox One practically 2 units to 1, Scott.
Holy, yeah, it was no small margin.
No, so here it is. The tech giant submitted a document to Brazil's national competition regulator. Dude, this is all in the wake of Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard takeover, right? Like this is all this information is now suddenly coming out because they got to step up and say, hey, you know what? We're not that big. We're not as big as you think we are, right? I think that's what it comes across as. Quote, Sony has surpassed Microsoft in terms of console sales and installed base, having sold more than twice as many Xboxes in the last generation, end quote. Microsoft says, according to Game Illustrator's translation. Microsoft still hasn't revealed exactly how many Xbox One consoles it's sold. However, Sony last reported number for PS4 console sales is approximately 117.2 million units, Scott, which then puts Xbox around 58.6. Big number.
Well, 58.6 is not a small number, but compared to 117
compared to your competition,
incredibly
right?
successful.
Absolutely.
I think that's more than there has ever been GameCubes sold.
Dude, that's a big gap, honestly, right? When you're looking at the grand scheme of it all, yeah, 58 million is a big number for all of us. But when you're up against your competition, you pulled in 117. Yo, you're a little bit behind. We knew they were. That's the biggest thing. We all knew. We just didn't know the severity, how bad it really was. And here it is. Sure enough, they're half as many as PlayStation. But do you think we'll see the change in the turnaround, Scott, with the Xbox Series X and S and the PS5?
I think this generation has been a lot different, maybe more equal. But I want to give the nod to Xbox, but that's only because I've heard less about a shortage for Xbox. Less of a shortage for parts. That's been a very PlayStation issue. And
absolutely, yes.
Because everybody wants a PlayStation 5. Now, that means there may have been more Xboxes sold, though, this time around. But the hype surrounding the PlayStation 5 has been much stronger. If you're actually lucky to find one, that has a big social effect.
Well, we often talk about right now what games are on the library in the grand scope for each console, and the only one who really is producing any console games right now is PlayStation. Xbox is still in the vast lineup of not really having a big launch lineup. A lot of it's moved out into 2023. They had a big year lined up, and then things got delayed and pushed, right? That was the biggest thing, where PlayStation still goes, here's this, here's that, and here's more coming, right? We had Horizon Forbidden West launch this year. We're getting God of War near the this holiday season.
That's true. Very strong lineups.
Absolutely. And then they had Stray go exclusive as well. So they're pulling in exclusives. But yeah, Microsoft is working. It's funny how Microsoft is working. They're working on Game Pass, building that service, which they've done incredibly well, right? To the point where they even told PlayStation how they should even maybe consider doing it themselves, which is a whole article in itself. Dude, that was I heard that one on the other day. It was funny to listen to, but it was great as well. It's a bit of an inside thing on how their opinions on how PlayStation could catch up in a sense to their Game Pass service, because the Game Pass service model works, right? To the point we talked about it last week, how PlayStation is actually blocking developers from adding their game to the service. So, there's two sides of it. Right now, I think Microsoft is starting to edge up a little bit and maybe even take over some of this mind share. But still, to this day, PlayStation they're the ones launching the games. They're the ones that have a lot of hype behind their games coming too, right? Wolverine's coming, Spider-Man 2 is coming. Dude, there's big titles still in development.
Just wait for Starfield, though. That is going to push a huge amount of sales.
Absolutely. And the biggest thing, too, because Starfield is exclusive, right? There's a reason why things become exclusive. They spent a lot of money to pull in Bethesda. Now they're spending a lot of money to pull in on Xbox with Activision Blizzard. That was a ton of money. We'll see if that one actually follows through. But there's a lot of movement right now in the industry.
I think maybe that's why we're seeing a lot of acquisitions, is because this is a new generation now. This is an opportunity for Xbox to squeak ahead, or at least stay neck and neck.
I think. Do you think they will pull ahead by the time this console generation ends?
I think this one's going to be way more even. I don't think there's going to be a clear leader, not for several years now.
I think they're kind of at this. It's funny. I think they both have different strategies moving forward, but yet there's still this level playing field where the one's going to kind of creep ahead today, but then tomorrow the other one will kind of surpass, and then they're just going to go back and forth all generations. Dude, it'll be incredible, right? Will
awesome. Nintendo hold the lead by counting it as a Switch? The Switch bridges 2 generations, therefore it becomes the leader.
Wait until we get the Xbox Series X Pro and then the PS5 Pro. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
They'll follow the same model. It works for Nintendo.
PS5 Slim.
Well, yeah, the PS5 small, they should call it, because the thing is a giant console.
It's not exactly wide; it's just very large.
It's so tall, dude, so tall. But Scott, we do have one game out today. What do we have, buddy?
We have Kirby's Dream Buffet on the Switch, and although I don't know much about it, I do enjoy the naming. I suggest there's something interesting there.
Oh yeah, I don't know. You did enjoy the last Kirby game, so there is that. But Scott,
I really like the Forgotten Lands.
That'll wrap up today's show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see you all tomorrow inside the game.